Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Greenseed. Now today is the second of my October sowing videos, and today's video is all about baby leaf salad and microgreens. Now I don't know, is the end of last century sprouting beans really took off, and you could get little special trays and things to grow them in, and it was the latest fad and trend. Didn't really try them much then, but just coming into the noughties I tried them, and I grew them for a number of years and then stopped for no apparent reason. But anyway, that's what I used to do. But for the last sort of 5 or 6 years, what I have done in the greenhouse at home, and this is to give me an availability of green produce at home, is to grow in trays some very, very simple veg, such as broccoli, cabbage, mizuna, pak choy, because they're all the sort of nice things that taste nice at very small size. And I've let them grow on to a reasonable size, chop them off, and they make a great addition when you can't get to your plot, because you could be snowed in or iced in, or just couldn't be bothered going out, or you know, you're waiting for someone to call round or something. So I've always had that availability at home, and I've always done the same with lettuce as well. And this year's no different, but I'm stepping my game up a little bit thanks to a company that I've recently come to know. So more of that when we get inside the polytunnel and start sowing some seeds. First up, baby leaf lettuce. So this baby leaf lettuce is just to give me an availability of green stuff at home if I can't get out for whatever reason, and that can be numerous and varied. You know, you can get frozen in, you can get snowed in, you've got to wait in for a delivery or a repairman or something, or you just plain can't be bothered. All these things happen. But what I do here is every 2 weeks from now on, going into next year, packet of seeds, £1. There's 2,500 seeds gone in there, and I just sow them in a tray every 2 weeks. So you've always got that fresh availability of fresh green leaves at home. You don't have to rely on coming down to the allotments to pick some veg, and it's just very convenient. And I say this is just a salad mix, and this is from Premier Seeds, and this is a mesclun mix, 2,500 seeds, about £1 it'll cost you. You'll pay £2 for a bag of lettuce, and when they get up to about this high, you just snip them off. If you're lucky, you might get a second or third cut off them. Depends how careful you are when you cut them. But you know, in about, I would say, a month's time, a month maybe more, I'll have fresh baby leaves. That'll now go home and sit in my greenhouse at home, and I'll just keep an eye on that, and you probably won't see it again. When it's up, I might actually fetch it back down just to film it, because I'm not filming in the greenhouse at the moment. That's more of a spring job, just so you can see one. But say every 2 weeks I'll sow another one of them, and that's baby leaf lettuce taken care of. Say you'll get 2 cuttings off that, you know, half across, and it's enough for 2 people for a salad. I'll just water that, take it home. Now, microgreens are the latest trendy food stuff. You'll find them in all the trendy and hip pubs, bars, gastropubs, restaurants. They are the latest thing. The nutrient dense, now I've seen claims where they say that the nutrients involved in a microgreen can be as much as 30 to 40 times what it is in its fully grown state, if you like, if you grow the plant to a fully grown size. I don't want to state that and be on record as saying that, because I haven't seen any sort of white papers. I like to see proper information from a scientific aspect to ensure that these things are true before I will categorically state them. But that's what's touted for it. They're certainly nutrient rich, they certainly are growing plants, so they're certainly good for you. As for the claims as to how many nutrients are in them, I couldn't honestly say, so I won't say that. But anyway, they are a delicious, nutritious thing to have, and I use them as an enhancement, and I've grown them for a number of years now, probably 6, 7 or 8 years, somewhere around there. But I haven't grown them as a proper seed that I've grown to use as a microgreen. I've always used sort of things like kale or a pak choi or mizuma, any of those things, or even a radish I've used as well, and they all come up well. And you just sort of let them grow to about this height and chop them off and sprinkle them on your meal. They're great on a sandwich, for instance, you know. Certainly liven up a cheese sandwich if you put a lot of mizuna or rocket or coriander microgreens in there, and it's endless what you can use. Say, I've tended to use the Brassicaceae family simply because it's at this time of the year that I'm growing them, temperatures drop, and you can rely on brassicas to germinate and grow, even with temperatures all the way down to sort of 3, 4, 5 degrees. You can get them going, and that's good, and that's why I've always grown them. So I grow them along with the baby leaf lettuce, and indeed the baby leaf lettuce I sowed earlier could again be grown as a microgreen. You just sow in more densely. So this year, anyway, I've been using a new company this year, new to me. I don't think it's that new. I think it's a couple of years in it's been going for. I'm not entirely sure. Called Growseed, and you've heard me mention them before. That's the sort of company. And I've got a load of different microgreen seeds here that I'm going to try just to see how we get on with them, and just sort of record the differences and use them moving forward. That's the general idea. Have I got a broccoli? And there's quite a few different varieties I've got here. Just knowing which ones to sow and which ones not to sow. There's a kale and that one, and I think that'll do. I've also got some broad beans to sow, but that'll be for another day. So they're all from Growseed. Now, again, they're a company, you can see that the packaging, you haven't got instructions on the back. You have to go on the website to get the instructions, because once you start putting instructions onto packaging, the price point goes up. It's a bigger cost to the company to produce them. And I've spoken to the guy at Growseed, and the costs are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. You wouldn't believe it, but it saves that cost being put onto you. So all these seeds here, they're all only £2 a packet, and that's it. You know, that's cheap as chips. And you see most of their companies, their prices are much higher. They've also got their own app as well, which I've got on my phone, and that's a new thing that's still in development and being upgraded. So it's well worth going and have a look at Growseed. They don't do all seeds, they just do what they do, but do it well, and they trial and test their seeds as well. So I'm very happy to use them, and I'm happy to use them alongside some of the well-established seed companies that I use. But anyway, enough of that waffle, we'll get on with sowing these. So I'm just going to sow the one tray, then off camera I'll sow all the rest and then show you what I do with them after that. Now, because it's microgreens, you're not sowing to prick out and to grow plants from. You want a fairly reasonably heavy density, because you are essentially just taking a stalk of a plant when you cut it with a couple of leaves on. So you want enough on there. I'll zoom in, hopefully I already have, and you can see the sort of density that I'm after there in that. And the same here, I've got a Chinese cabbage. That was a red cabbage, and this is a Chinese cabbage. I don't really want to bunch them all too tightly together, but I do want good coverage over the whole area. Now, you can grow these under lights, and many people do. I'm not going to do that. They're just going to stay either here in the polytunnel. If the temperatures drop too much, I will take them home and put them in the greenhouse, just to keep the temperatures up. But we'll see how we get on with that. Say, I've got a light at home I could use, but I'm not going to. I just want to grow them under natural light. I want to keep it as simple as I possibly can. So that's that sown. I'll sow the rest and bring you back and show you what I'm doing with them after that. So I've got a grow bag tray here for ease of filming, and I've just put some water in it. It's not properly level, all the water's sort of coming down this end, but I want to just water these from the bottom. So I'll just settle a couple of trays in, and then when I can see the water's come to the surface of that soil there, that compost, I'll move them up and get the other 2 trays in, just so they get a good first water. So here we go, this is the lineup that I've got in this tray. I've just put the last tray in down there to start soaking. So I've got onion here, and then carrot, then some red cabbage, Chinese cabbage, broccoli, beetroot, red rhubarb, which is a kale, and some bull's blood basil. So that's the lineup for these. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover them. You don't cover them with soil, and I think that's probably to do with as the seeds come up and as they're very young, they're very easy to get dirty. If they've got to come up through soil, the chances are that your microgreens that you're going to be cutting will have soil on them, making them more difficult to clean. So anyway, you replicate the conditions that they normally grow in, which is under soil, by putting a tray on top, and we'll do that now. So this should make it nice and dark underneath there. There we go. Fits like a glove. It's almost like I planned it. And that's it now. I'll leave them to germinate. I'll come and check on them daily and check if they need watering. Again, water from underneath if need be. I can move the trays around in there as necessary if one's getting more water than another, but I could just leave them there. I might find somewhere a bit more level for them, but otherwise, no, I'm happy with where they are for now. So that's the second seed sowing for October video done and completed now. So we had the baby leaf salad right at the start. I'll be sowing them every 2 weeks, taking them home, put them in my greenhouse. And the microgreens, I'm thinking to sow them once every month or maybe every 5 or 6 weeks. We'll see how that goes with that over the season. And in the package that I've got there, there's enough for at least 2, maybe 3 sowings. Some of them less so. You know, some seeds are more expensive than others, or should I say you get less seeds in a packet. The majority seems somewhere between 1,000 and 3,000 seeds. And on the 1,000 seeds, I'll get at least 2 or 3 half tray sowings, as you see me just do there, from them. So that's a gauge for you. And it's a couple of quid, as I say, for a packet of seeds from Growseed, which I do recommend you go and have a look, have a good look around, download their app, because there's some useful information on there. And no doubt through the passage of time that will grow, and that's handy to have that information when you're down at the allotment. So as I say, that will grow. Your microgreens will grow, your salad leaves will grow, everything will grow. You'll grow. I grow outwards. But that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something from it, and I'll see you again in a couple of days' time. Please look after yourself, stay safe. I'll see you very, very soon. Ta-ra now.